Hello, and welcome to Allie in Sweatpants. My name is Allie, and I am wearing sweat shorts because it is summertime. I'm dog sitting. These two, so there may be some puppy interruptions. Simon is currently in the back bedroom with my boyfriend, and I can already hear him whining, so he might make an entrance, but if you are new here, a very warm welcome to you. I hope that you enjoy, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I always love hearing from you. So I have a few finished objects to talk about today, and some works in progress and some acquisitions. So I figure we'll just get into it. These podcasts always go way longer between than I intend. Like when I first started, I was so good at doing them every 2 weeks, and now it's like every 50 days or something like that. So I would love to be better, but oh well. My first finished object I am wearing. I made a t-shirt. I actually can't remember if I had this cast on in the last podcast or not. I think I did. I used the Tin Can Knits app, and I formatted it for my size and the weight of yarn that I wanted to use, and I made a t-shirt. So here it is. It doesn't go with my purple shorts, obviously, but here's the shirt. It's a raglan, and I did a folded neckline, a folded hem at each sleeve, and down along the bottom. I ended up putting elastic in the neck and the sleeves, and I might need to do it around the bottom as well because it keeps flipping up, but I really like it. It's really nice. I knit it out of veganyarn.com's fingering base, which is a basically 50-50 organic cotton and bamboo blend in the Failed Olives colorway. Here's what the yarn is. And like it says, this was, I guess, a failed colorway, so it was sold at cost. I think I got each skein for like $4, which is amazing. It's not $4, $6. I think $6. 4 would be insane. $6. And it's beautiful. I think it's an amazing color. I don't know why it was labeled a failed colorway. And that's just like an insane price for yarn in general, let alone hand-dyed yarn. So this is how much I have left of my second skein. This took, well, 1 and this much skeins of yarn. So it's probably like 180 grams, I would wager. And this is the large size in the app, I think, because I wanted it to be really like oversized and drapey. I have not washed it, so we'll see how it goes after I wash and dry it, but I think it will be fine. I didn't do any short row shaping, so it's the same length in the front and the back. There are options to do short row shaping in the pattern, and honestly, my short rows just don't turn out very well. They're like pretty messy on one side of the neck, and I think this would have been down on the body, so it wouldn't have been quite the same as on the neck, but I just didn't want to think. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to do the raglan and then stockinette. Like, I didn't want to think. And this was knit on a 3.75 millimeter needle, I'm pretty sure. So I'm very happy with it. This summer is kind of like my project t-shirt summer, I think. I have one more to show you guys, and then I would love to knit 2 more before the summer is up. And I want to do different patterns for each and then kind of like compare the qualities of the shirts. I don't know. So yes, my first finished object, my flax t-shirt by Tin Can Knits. So my next finished object, we'll do this one, is a ripple bralette. This I had not started in my last episode, but I'm part of Martina's Patreon group, Martina from We Grow Wild. I'm part of her Patreon group, and a perk of being in her Patreon is you get to be part of this group chat on WhatsApp, and it's full of the most amazing, most supportive women. I feel so lucky to be part of it. But quite a few of us were knitting ripple bralettes at the same time. And I finally was like, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I'm casting on another one. I have a beach vacation planned with my boyfriend, not next week, but the week after. And so I was like, it'd be really nice to just have a new bralette. And so I made one. I don't know if you're able to see the yarn. It's like a light blue with lilac-y purple specks. It's the Ripple Bralette by Jessie Mae Designs. I made the 3rd size, which I always do. It's knit on 3.5 millimeter needles, and it calls for fingering weight yarn. However, I prefer to knit the fingering weight pattern with sport to DK weight yarn because I find that it makes a much denser fabric. I make a couple modifications, but they're not big ones. I don't do twisted rib, not a big deal. I do quite a bit more on the body. I do from the bottom 18 centimeters before I start the back ribbing. So all in all, it's probably 20 centimeters from like the armpit to the bottom. And then I have really wide ribs, so I cast off a few extra stitches on either side. So the center is technically like a little bit more narrow and the straps come back a little bit more, but it's nothing like noticeable. It's just more comfortable on my ribs. So the yarn that I used is my ultimate go-to #1 favorite yarn for ripple bralettes. It is the Cascade Yarns Fixation, and this is the splash line, so it's like their variegated line, and it's 98.3% cotton and 1.7% spandex. Hello? Hello? What's happening? Am I even in focus? Okay, that was really weird. My autofocus stopped working. I hope those clips were in focus. As I was saying, Cascade Yarn Fixation is my all-time favorite for ripple bralettes. So I use one whole skein and then like this much of another skein. This is probably like, I should really weigh it. It's probably like 20 grams if I had to guess. It's definitely not a lot left, but I'm saving all my little pieces to either do a scrappy bralette or scrappy DK weight socks. So, a new bralette for me, which is very exciting. And of course, right after I wanted to cast on another one. And I have one started in pink, but I find when I knit them in a solid color, I can get bored very easily because it's just 3x3 ribbing. And when there's like speckles, sorry if you can hear my air conditioner coming on and off. It's like 94 degrees, so we need it. But with speckled yarn, it kind of keeps my interest a little bit more. So, I don't know, I'll probably finish that one day. So Ripple Bralette by Jessie Mae Designs, finished. The other thing I have finished is the, what's it called? The classic raglan, I don't know where my phone is. Oh, here. Let me look it up. I have to update the app, of course. This is the app, by the way. The Tin Can Knits app that I always talk about. It's so good. Classic Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. And again, I used the app and I plugged in the size and the yarn, and then I made some modifications, but I did follow the cardigan pattern. It's just a little baby. It's just a baby cardigan. So, I have mentioned before that a friend of mine is having another baby in August, and I have knit that baby a pair of pants. I'm working on another pair of pants that I have not touched since like 2 podcasts ago. And I knit this little cardigan because now it can have like an outfit. And we don't know the gender of the baby until birth, which I think is really exciting. For her first 2 kids, she found out and she told people. But for this one, they're just waiting until birth. I have a weird feeling it's a boy. We'll keep you updated. But, so I knit this. The main yarn is a cone that I have from colormart.com, which is like they get dead ends from fashion companies and stuff of yarn that they would make their garments out of that they're discontinuing, or for whatever reason they get cones of it and they sell it for discounted. And I had got a few cones from them a couple years ago. I should say, because I'm co-hosting the Adventures in Stash knit along with Martina. So this yarn has been in my stash for about a year. This yarn has also been in my stash for about a year. And this yarn, I would wager 2 years it's been in my stash. So it's a cotton nylon blend. I think it's a chained yarn. So I think the chain was nylon and what was blown into it was cotton. So it did have the tendency to catch on the tip of my needle and sort of pull. I just saw an example of that. Let me see if I can show you. Where is it? Right here. I don't know if you can see that, but so that's a little bit annoying, but I find that with all chain yarns, it does that. So it's just a cute little raglan cardigan. And I decided to crochet all the way around the entire cardigan. So I started at the bottom and I went like up and around. And I think it's cute. I think it looks a little bit messy. This has been washed and dried. And I did little ties. So there will be no buttons. It's just, that's hard to show. It's just these little ties, which I thought were really cute. And I think, like the ladies in my group chat said, I think with like a baby filling it, it will be really cute, but off it just looks a little bit messy. And I was super unsure about the color because in real life it's a little bit yellow, like antique white in the gross way. But I asked the ladies in the group chat and they were all super supportive, and even the ones who are moms were like, I think that's great for a baby. I even asked about the dark gray for a baby and they were like, I think that's totally fine. And it pulls in the gray from the yarn. So, and I made it in the 3 to 6 month size because if the baby's born in August, I figure 3 to 6 months later would be nice for like a light little cardigan. So, very, very happy with that. I do wish that the down the front was a little bit neater. The issue I had was that if I wanted to redo it, I had to undo the entire border, and I was like, not doing that. So the entire border is just like I picked up stitches with a crochet hook and then I did a half double crochet round, and that was it. So yeah, a little baby cardigan all ready to be gifted. My last finished object, and then I have some half finished objects, But my last finished object is a pair of socks that I was working on for myself. I think I had one done last time. It's just was supposed to be these very classic, simple vanilla socks. This sock yarn is thinner than sock yarn that I typically use. So instead of knitting these on a 2.5 millimeter needle, I knit them on a 2.25 millimeter needle, and I did 60 stitches instead of 56 stitches. So they really are, okay, it's a little bit of a darker yellow. It's like a bit more like that in real life, but so I knit the first one. And then I knew I was low on yarn because this, again, has been in my stash for, I think, 2 years. And I was knitting away on the second one and ran out of yarn, which is fine. And it's literally just for the toe. So I just grabbed some white, same yarn, which is the Bamboo Pop Sock Solids. This is, I think, called Daffodil, and this is just white. And so I just finished it off with a white toe. I could rip this one back and add a white toe, but honestly, I don't care that much. I have a couple pairs of socks, one for sure, if not 2 pairs, where the toe of one is a different color than the other one. And I literally don't even notice while I'm wearing. And I wear them with my Birkenstocks, so it's like you can see them, and I don't even notice. So they were supposed to be like classic, solid, just yellow socks, but that's the joy of the handmade life. You get to roll with the punches and adapt. So those are a pair of socks that I finished for myself. And then I have another pair that's finished. Let me go get them. Okay, I lied. I have one more finished object, and it's a pair of socks for my boyfriend. I forgot because I finished these like pretty much right after the last episode that I filmed, and he had them in his sock drawer. So I knit him a pair of blueberry waffle socks. I said last time I had finished a pair that there were going to be more in my future, and there are. So blueberry waffle socks is a free pattern. It's this really cool waffle texture. And I knit this out of the King Cole cotton sock yarn, which I've used a couple times now, and I really like it. I think it's a really, really nice cotton sock yarn. So I did 2.5 millimeter needles and 60 stitches, which is what I always do for him. And then I did a heel flap and gusset, but I didn't do a slip stitch. And I talked about this last time where I don't carry, and the pattern doesn't tell you to, but I don't carry the pattern along the toe. So I find that if I do a stockinette heel flap, it kind of like makes the stockinette toe less stark. So, pair of socks for my boyfriend. I just ran and got him from his drawer so I can give him back now. Now I have my half finished objects. So in order to start a pair of socks that I really wanted to start, I had to finish a sock so that I could have the needles. So I finished this sock, which will be for my boyfriend. I think I talked about this one on my last podcast. I'm using the sock yarn from Five Wise Owls, which is an Etsy shop. It's the same base as the veganyarn.com sock yarn, so it's organic cotton and tencel and elastic. It's very nice, it's very stretchy. We have a lot of socks knit out of this, and I find them, I'm wearing a pair right now, and I find them very comfortable, pretty durable, definitely recommend. And this is in the WB Yates colorway. which is just some nice blue, green, yellow, and brown speckles. And in this one, I did a 4x1 rib. So I finished it. I don't know why, but I like slogged through this whole entire sock. So I have not cast on. I have not cast on the second one, but I will because I have one done. So it really won't take that much effort, and then he'll have a pair of socks. So that's one half finished object. And I wanted those needles so that I could cast on these guys. So the ladies at Legacy Fiber Arts in June were running a fundraiser where they donated to the Trevor Project for Pride Month. And so this is their Pride sock set. They said it will be staying in the shop, but they'll no longer be donating a portion of each sale to the Trevor Project every month. They said they might reassess at the end of the year, but the fundraiser was for June. So here it is. It's very pretty. So it comes with this gray mini skein and then this rainbow speckle yarn. I think the mini should have been a cream stellina for Pride, but that's just me. It's a very, very beautiful colorway. So these are for me. So I did 2.5 millimeter needles, 56 stitches. I did a 2x2 rib and a stockinette heel flap. And I think they're very pretty. I think I'm gonna have a great time wearing them. And since I used contrasting heel, toes, and cuff, I should be able to get another pair of socks out of the main skein. So I will show you my progress on the other one when we get to the works in progress, but I have one more half-finished object, and it is a DK weight sock for myself. It is, again, the blueberry waffle sock pattern, and it's written as a DK pattern, so I didn't have to modify anything. I knit this on 3.25 millimeter needles, and I did, I believe, 48 stitches. I did a slip stitch heel flap and gusset on this one, and on this one, I actually carried the pattern all the way down the toe, and I think it looks really nice. I think I'm going to start doing this for all the blueberry waffle socks. I think it makes it look just that much cozier. So this is also Legacy Fiber Arts yarn. It is their DK weight base, which is superwash merino and nylon, and it's in their espresso bean colorway, which online looks browner. Mine is definitely grayish, which is fine, but yeah, online it definitely looks browner. And I think in DK weight wool, the blueberry waffle sock pattern really sings. So I have one done, and I have the second one on the needles, so we will just jump into works in progress now. I currently have them in a bag that my mom crocheted for me that I use all the time. Literally, I use it all the time. It's basically the only bag that I use, except she crocheted me a really cute mushroom bag, so that's in the rotation now too. Okay, so I don't actually have this on the needles. I am now realizing I took the needles off to finish something, so we have a bit of a situation, but I have started the second sock. It's like barely. I mean, I think I've done 3 repeats of the pattern, but I do have the second one cast on. I was loving a couple episodes ago, I think, my DK weight sock mojo, and then it got hot, and I was like I don't want thick cozy yarn anywhere near me, but I'm excited to pick these back up when I do. So my second blueberry waffle sock, and then like I said, I have been working on my second Pride Month sock, or Pride sock from Legacy Fiber Arts, and I've just finished the heel flap, and I am currently working on the gusset decreases. So very exciting. Again, 2.5 millimeter needles, 56 stitches for myself, and a 2x2 rib. So here's what I have left of the ball. It's quite a lot, so I definitely think I can get another pair of socks with it if I really budget my yarn. So let's switch it up from socks for just a minute. I do have more to show, but let's just switch it up for a second. So let's talk about the other shirt that I'm working on. This is more or less the Sunshine Tee. I'm so sorry, I don't know the designer's name. They're a new to me designer, and when it was being released, I saw it on Ravelry and they were running a discount if you, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My allergies are going crazy today. They were running a discount if you pre-ordered it, so I did. And here it is. So, I'm trying to think. I made modifications and then I ripped out those modifications. I'm now realizing. So, this is a capped sleeve t-shirt, which I have never done before. I haven't done it for a sweater. I haven't done it for a t-shirt. It was new to me completely. So it's shaped with German short rows. And I had a lot of trouble with this. It said to split the armhole in half and then evenly pick up stitches. That makes sense, right? Except where it was split in half is not where the peak of my shoulder was. And so the short rows, the first time I tried to do it, were like right here. So the cap was coming out from here, which obviously wasn't right. So I was like, I tried it 3 times, it kept happening. I was like, screw it. I'm just knitting a straight sleeve. So I did that. And of course there's just so much material under the armpit. I was like, no. So I put it down. And I was like, I will come back to this. And so I did, and I kind of just finagled one sleeve to work. I put little markers here of where it sat on my shoulders, and then I adjusted the short rows accordingly. The second sleeve went perfect to pattern. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. First sleeve I had a horrible time with. Second sleeve went perfectly to pattern. So, this t-shirt is a pretty cool construction. You can see here, we have some construction details going on. I have again done folded neckline and sleeves. I put elastic in both already. The neckline was pretty big, and then I put elastic in, and it's very nice now. These, the elastic is too tight. They look like puff sleeves, so I have to redo that. But I am knitting it out of veganyarn.com's cotton linen base, which I had never used before. And it is organic cotton and linen, and it is a lace weight. So here's the tag. So the colorway is Kutch, Logwood, and Iron. And 100 grams is 763 yards. So I'm holding it double. I had 3 skeins of it, and I'm on my 3rd one, which I can't believe. I'm knitting the 4th size, and I am working away on the body. As you can see, it's currently hitting like right under my ribs, so I want it to be a bit longer. The back is quite a bit longer than the front, which is nice, but yeah, I got a little ways to go. It's definitely not going to be a 300 gram shirt, but 250 I'm thinking. So here is my last cake, and I really am enjoying the yarn. It's very linen-y. Don't get me wrong, it's very linen-y, but I think in a really nice way. And I can already tell with wash and wear, it's going to become so nice and soft. So this is my 2nd t-shirt in Project T-shirt, and I'm very excited to have it. I'm hoping I have it done and it's perfect for my beach vacation I talked about. We're going camping on Catalina Island, and I would love to have a new bralette and a little t-shirt. I could take this one. I don't know why I want a cotton linen one instead of a cotton bamboo one, but we'll see. So the next work in progress I'm going to talk about is actually a gift from my boyfriend. Now, he's supposed to have headphones in right now, and I'm trusting that fact, but you never know with those boys. So this is the Esther jacket by Petite Knit, and months ago I showed him this pattern and I said, would you like it? I think it would really suit you. And he was pretty excited about it, and he was definitely interested. So I've had it in the back of my mind ever since, and I finally decided to cast it on. Why I didn't cast it on earlier when he was working for 6 months, don't know. Why did I wait until his job was over and doesn't have another one booked for the foreseeable future? I don't know. He's working all of next week, so I have next week to work on it, and then who knows? So I have started the medium. Isn't it cool? I think it is it's such an intriguing visual pattern. So it's supposed to be knit on 5mm needles, and for the yarn that I'm using, that was just way too loose of a gauge. So I'm using a 4.5mm needle, and I went up a size. So I'm knitting him the medium size. So I've finished the back, and I have just picked up to start the right front panel. Now, does it bother me that that is 1 stitch off? Yes. Am I going to go back and fix it? No. It's the top of the shoulder. You're never going to notice. However, yes, it does bother me. Carry on. So I am knitting this out of stash yarn that I've had for like 2 years. It is the We Are Knitters recycled cotton in the gray colorway. I knit myself the November jacket by Petite Knit in this last year, and I had enough left to make him something. So I asked him what he wanted, and he said a cardigan would be great. So we have a cardigan, and I'm loving working on it. I'm so sad that I have to put it down because I'm really, 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 really enjoying it. I think I'll probably end up making one for myself as well. So yes, that's the Esther jacket by Petite Knit. We'll go ahead and hide it again so he can't find it. Not that he would even think it was for him, probably, but I have been telling him, I'm like, I've been working on something secret for you. And he's like, well, what is it? And I'm like, it's either going to be for your birthday or Christmas, depending on when it gets finished. So my next work in progress, and my last one other than socks, is my Julie jacket. I put it down for a while. I had intended to have it finished for when I went to visit family in May, early May. Didn't get it done. And then it sort of sat for a while, and I would pick it up here and there. But I just got a lot of fall excitement, which, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying summer. My summer still hasn't really started yet. My summer activities, like I haven't had my beach days yet, so I am still excited for and enjoying summer. And the longer days, oh my gosh, the more sunlight. Never used to affect me when I was younger, and the older I get, the more it affects me. Gotta love that. So I picked it back up, and I decided that I would finish the ball of yarn that I was using on the body, and then I would go to the sleeves so I could kind of like manage my yarn. I am knitting the 3rd size in the pattern, which I have made before, and I love that jacket, so I wanted to make another one out of this beautiful yarn. This yarn is the City Tweed by Knit Picks Aran Weight in the Toad colorway. It is 55% merino, 25% superfine alpaca, and 20% Donegal tweed. 164 yards per 100 grams, and the colorway is Toad. So, I did finish the skein for the body, and I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the sleeves. I had talked about this in a few other videos. I was going back and forth with ideas. I found one free cardigan pattern by Yarnspirations, I believe. I will put a picture, and the sleeves are beautiful. They have this like flower leaf cable motif, and so I tried to make a chart to have it repeat 3 times with double moss stitch on the bottom, and it just wasn't really working. It wasn't as poppy as I wanted it to be. So then I was like, oh, should I just do the whole sleeve in double moss stitch? And I was like, that might be kind of like boring given how busy the jacket is. So I decided to use the sleeve pattern from the Moby sweater by Petite Knit, which again I made last year. And this is it. So it has these garter panels and then the 4-stitch cable and then just double moss stitch on the underarm. I really hope with all the rest of the jacket that doesn't add too much to make it overly busy. Looking at it in the camera, it doesn't look like it does, but yes. So I'm going to have to definitely block this. Fun fact, I have never blocked anything. I knit most of my stuff in plant fibers. So I put everything in the washing machine and I put everything in the tumble dryer and I do it all on cold and it's great. I love it. I've never blocked anything. This cannot go in the dryer. This cannot go in the washer. This has to be soaked and it has to be blocked. So I knit the sleeve like right to my wrist, even though I knew I have to block it widthwise. And the reason I did that is because I also have to block the shoulder widthwise, and it will open quite a bit. So though I'm taking length from the sleeve, I'm getting length from the shoulder. So I think it should be fine. And I have started the second sleeve. So once I'm done with that, I will finish the body and then I will do the button band. And I'm very excited to have this for the fall and winter. I think it's a very pretty pattern. I wish it was more size inclusive. That is an issue with the pattern. I've talked about this before as well. I think I might reach out to the designer and see if they would be willing to try to do the math to expand the size range, because I think this is a pattern that could flatter so many people, most people, I would say, and it should just be accessible. Patterns should just be accessible. And I get it, the math, I don't want to do it. I would never want to do it. So it's not a judgment. It's just, if you can, why not? And so I would love to see if they would be willing to expand this size range, because I think everyone should have one of these in their wardrobe. So yeah, that's my Julie jacket, which I'm very excited about. I'm really liking it. I will say it's a little hard on my hands, and I'm not sure if that is just cabled and textured knitting in general is a little bit hard on my hands. I wouldn't be surprised, but it is a little bit hard on my hands. So my last 2 works in progress, as I said, are socks. This one I started and I have not touched in a week or 2. It's just a vanilla sock in this beautiful sock yarn that my friend got me for Christmas a couple years ago. It is from Knitted Wit in Portland. I think it's local to her. It's called Luck Dragon. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 420 yards. Here's the info. So yeah, I think I've been saving it until it felt right to cast it on, and it felt right, and I sent her a picture, and it was all very exciting. It's very autumnal, but I really love it. So 2.5 millimeter needles, 56 stitches, and there's a lot of fur on it. Like I said, I haven't touched it in, oh my gosh, look at how messy. I haven't touched it in a couple weeks. I don't know when I'm gonna pick it back up, but I definitely will. My last work in progress is a sock for my boyfriend, and it's the blueberry waffle sock pattern, but in fingering weight. Is it good? Yes, okay. So this is the Bamboo Pop Sock Solids by Universal Yarns, and it is a very thin sock yarn. I don't have the ball band to tell you how many yards is in it, but I find when I knit it on 2.5 millimeter needles, it is pretty slouchy, pretty loose, and I have got holes pretty quickly in those. So this is on 2.25 millimeter needles, and since I typically do 60 stitches for him on 2.5, I'm doing 64 stitches on 2.25, and it's been working out really well. And I decided for this one to do a German short row heel. The German short row heel is the first heel that I ever learned, and so it is nice to go back to it every once in a while, and sometimes I just want to change up with my socks and what I'm doing with the socks. So I decided to do a German short row. And I'm going to carry the pattern along the toe again this time because, like I said in the DK sock, I think it is super effective. And this colorway is really nice. It's like a periwinkle sky blue, and I think it's just really pretty. So that's my last work in progress, a blueberry waffle sock for me boyfriend. So I have some acquisitions to show. Let me get them. Okay, got them. So I have quite a few acquisitions to show because it's been a while. And I got a couple really lovely packages. So I will start with those. So again, my friend from the group chat, Ada, from the Athenian Maker, why do I still struggle to say that word? She is a yarn dyer, and she dyes all of her yarn with plants, botanically dyes them, which I think is so cool. And all of her wool is cruelty-free wool. She has really cool recycled wool. She has plant fibers, which are really cool. And I've had my eye on her shop for so long. And to be honest, the shipping from Greece to California is just kind of expensive. So I've always hesitated. But in June, I think, she was doing a fundraiser. And so I thought, there's yarn I've had my eye on for a long time. She's doing a fundraiser. It's for a good cause. And so I splurged. This is a good time to mention, if there are friends, family, loved ones watching who I give gifts to on a regular basis, mom, dad, mainly, please stop watching. Love you. So, I got 2 sock yarns from her. Again, this is the same as the veganYarn.com sock base. So it's 40% tencel, 40% organic cotton, and 20% elastic. This is the Annalena colorway dyed with logwood. I don't know what logwood is, but I'm very intrigued. And it's just the most beautiful mix of purples. I have no idea if this is going to be stripy when it knits up, or speckly, or variegated. No idea. But online it looked beautiful. In person, these purples are insane. So beautiful. And then this is the one I've had my eye on for ever since she announced it. And it's the same sock base in the Cora colorway, dyed with Cosmo flowers. I don't know how. It's created the most beautiful mustard yellow with these stark white stripes. And she had knitted up a sample of this, and it does create a stripy sock. Ada, how'd you do it? How? It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm very excited to knit with those. And then I ordered one of her recycled wool skeins. This is the Fenny colorway. It's sport weight. It's 100% recycled, 95% wool from garments, 5% other materials. Dyed with madder, oak leaves, marigolds. And it is so pretty. Look at this speckle. I mean, can you? I'm just saying, if you want to treat yourself. And it is so bouncy. It's definitely wool-y. However, for someone who does not knit with wool, I've knit with wools that are either sock or have alpaca in them. So soft. I've been knitting a rustic cardigan, which feels rustic. This does not feel as rustic as that, but it's definitely like, you know, it's not a cotton bamboo mix, if you get my drift, but it is so nice. Like, it is softer than I was expecting, and it is so, like, I don't think it would be itchy for me. So I'm deciding what I want to do with this. I'm thinking maybe mitts. Although a Sophie shawl, I wonder if I have enough. I'd have to relook at the pattern. Oh my gosh, a Sophie shawl in this would be insane. I think what I intended it for was a hat, which would also be so nice. Ooh, that might be a little prickle though. I am feeling a little prickle on my forehead. Ow, on my forehead. Oh, it's just because there's a stick in it. Never mind. So I got this. And then in the package, she sent me an extra skein with a little stitch marker. So this is the Ava colorway, and it looks like a fingering weight yarn. So it's Pima cotton dyed with madder. And I think on her website, this is her fancy vegan base. So it's like a slubby, there you go. That's a pretty good example. I have 2 strands here. So it goes from thin to pretty thick. So it's a slubby yarn, and it has this really cute stitch marker with like faux pearls, and it says 2024, which I think is so nice. And it's very soft. I have never really worked with yarn like this before. It says on here, I think, it makes a cute scarf and stockinette. So, Sophie scarf? I don't know. We'll see. So it's just very nice that she added that extra little skein in. I thought it was such a nice surprise, and thank you again. It was very, very nice of you. So the other package that I received was from another one of the wonderful ladies in our group chat. She also has a podcast. It's Melissa, and her and I were chatting and just checking up on each other about various life things going on. She asked how I was doing. I said I was doing okay. My anxiety and my panic attacks have kind of had a flare up ever since December, and it's July now, and we're still working on the come down, which is what it is. It's okay. It's not going to kill me, but it is a little bit unpleasant sometimes. And she asked if she could send me a package, just like a little thinking of you, feel better, happiness package. And It was so nice. It was so nice that she even offered. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe that she remembered some of the things that she did that I had talked about in the group chat. It was just so nice. And I said, can we do a swap? Because I know that she's also been dealing with some challenging things in life, and I just wanted to reciprocate such a nice gesture. And she said that she would be happy to do that. So we swapped packages, and I wish I had taken a picture of the things that I had sent her, but I didn't. I just sent her some yarn from my stash, and I put in a note about the things that I really like to make with said yarn. So yeah, maybe keep an eye out on her podcast or her Instagram, and you might see some of it, who knows. But what she sent me some really nice tees that are, no, I don't think she said they were local to her. I think she just said that they were really nice tees. And then no, they were local. The seeds that she sent me are just some nice seeds. And one of the seeds she sent me are tomatoes that look like tulips. I cannot wait to plant those next year. And then she sent me 2 flower seeds, which are so nice. And then she sent me this yarn. And I have never worked with yarn like these before. So she sent me Oh Dang. It's 50 grams, is 328 yards. It's 26% silk and 74% alpaca in the fawn color. Oh, fawn colorway. It's not Oh Dang, it's Farmer's Daughter fibers. Oh Dang must be the like the base. It looks like hair. It's so interesting. But there you go. It's by, which I have heard of this brand before. I have never used fluff before. I've never used mohair. I've never used Surrey alpaca. It honestly looks like it is like it won't come apart when I wind it, which I'm sure that it will, but I just don't know anything about these types of fibers. So I'm super excited to play around with this. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you like to add. Fluff. Ooh, mittens again. This would actually be so nice on my hands. Ooh, I might do that. So this was the first one she sent me. And then she sent me this one, which I'm pretty sure this is the one that she said was pretty local to her. So it's the 6 Paca Farm Spinning Mill. And it's 200 yards. So it's spun at 6 Paca Fiber Mill in Bosra, Connecticut, from the fiber of our own herd of 50 plus or minus alpacas. So cool. I don't know the color, but it's this beautiful like blue purple periwinkle, and it looks hand spun. I mean, it says it's spun in a mill, so, but if you look at it, like I don't know, it looks hand spun to me. So this is super cool. This is like, might make something for my mom with this, because this is very like her color, but it's so soft. I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but this is super cool. I've never worked with anything like this before. And then the last skein that she sent me definitely feels more rustic. It's 100% merino wool, 415 yards per 100 grams from, it's either the Cricket base from Kelborn Woolens or it's from Cricket. I'm not sure. It's the color Raisin. Made in Ireland. Oh, how nice. I love Ireland. So there's the brand. And then look. It's so cool. It's like an eggplant purple, and then it has like rainbow tweed, and it has light pink tweed, hot pink tweed, green, periwinkle, like look at this patch right here. It's so pretty. So again, I'm not sure, because I don't knit with wool very often, I'm not sure what to do with like 100% merino yarn, because I know it's not good for socks, although it depends on how it's spun, I've learned. But it's just so nice. I would love to do something where the tweed would really like sing. So again, if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them, because this feels very special. So 2 packages from 2 friends. One a very nice swap. One was for a great cause with a gift inside. So I feel very full. So the next are purchases that I made from Joann Fabrics. I plan to make my mom and my dad those felted slippers from Sanna's Garn that Inga makes all the time. So I've been trying to figure out like what yarn I wanted to use, and I actually had a very nice little chat with Pam in my comment section on the last video, and she said that she had made quite a few felted slippers for her family, and she was thinking of trying this pattern as well this year. She had tried a different pattern previously, and she recommended the 100% wool from Lion Brand, and I had had my eye on it, and it was on sale at Joann's for like $10 a skein. So I got 2 balls of 2 different balls. They're not balls. I got 2 of these in 2 different colors. So 2 of these, 2 of these. And it is worsted weight, so I'm going to hold it double. It's Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, perfect for felting, which is what I'm going to do. It's 100% pure virgin wool containing natural oils. It is 227 grams and 465 yards. And this is the color 126. I'm sure it had a name online, but it's like this chestnut bark brown, and these are going to be for my dad, and I think I'm going to knit them and gift it to them, and they're going to be like, what is this? And then we're going to felt them together. So because Inga says she felts them and dries them most of the way, I think, and then she has the person put their foot in while it dries the rest of the way, so that it kind of like molds to their foot. So I think I'm going to do that. So this color is for my dad, and this color will be for my mom. It's the same as the Fisherman's Wool, and this is the 123E color, or oatmeal. Oh, okay, Nature's Brown. This is called Nature's Brown, and this is the oatmeal colorway. My mom and I have an inside joke with oatmeal. When I was a kid, she used to buy this yarn. It was probably just acrylic. It was from Joann's, and it was like one of the big box yarns, and it was this color, but it had tweed in it, like tan and light brown and dark brown tweed, and it was called oatmeal, and I always used to call it oatmeal, and I think I was being funny, but I would always be like, where's the oatmeal yarn, Mom? Are you knitting with oatmeal? And I remember her making like quite a few things with it, because it was just like around, I swear, for at least a year, if not 3 years. That's my memory. And so whenever we talk about oatmeal, it's always oatmeal. So it's the oatmeal colorway, same yarn, the Fisherman's Wool. And so I think if I calculated correctly, since I'm holding it double, one of these will get me 1 slipper, and the other one should get me the other slipper. So then the last thing that I purchased, I saw this on somebody's Instagram, and I immediately fell in love with the colorway. I have been wanting to try this sock yarn because this one has a knot. I hope that doesn't mess up the self-striping. Sue and Chelsea used to talk about this yarn a lot on their podcast. It's the Patton's Croix sock yarn. 50 grams is 166 yards, and I can usually get one pair of socks out of 50 grams, but I did get 2 balls, and this is the Midnight Orchid colorway, which I believe is a newer colorway, but I don't really know. It is 75% wool, 25% nylon. I have a feeling it's superwash, but it doesn't say. It doesn't say superwash. So I have a feeling it is though. But so I got 2 balls of that, and I'm going to make myself a pair of socks. And if I really can get a pair out of 50 grams, I'll probably make my mom a pair of socks with it as well. So that was everything. My couch is a mess. Thankfully, the dogs were chill. I can let my boyfriend and my dog out of the bedroom now and have some lunch. So if you made it this far, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that maybe you got some inspiration, or just were able to relax, or I don't know, I kept you company while you were doing some chores, or I don't know, whatever. I hope you enjoyed no matter what you were doing. And if you were working on something, I would love to know what you're working on. I love to interact in the comments. It makes this feel like an actual two-way thing instead of me just talking to my camera and the abyss. So I hope that you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, day, week, year, life, and I will be back when I have more to talk about. Bye.